Hey everyone, my name's Lindsay, and for those of you who don't know, I am vegan, and I've been getting a lot of questions lately about why I made the decision to go vegan, so I thought that I would make a YouTube video to explain that to everyone, because I actually went vegan for lots of reasons, and so it's a really long, elaborate answer, so I thought that it would be cool to just put it in a YouTube video and put it on the internet for everyone to see. So I went vegan for 4 main reasons, and those reasons are ethical/moral reasons, environmental reasons, health reasons, and personal reasons. Okay, so number 1, we have ethical reasons. So a lot of people are kind of naive when it comes to like the animal industry. They think that these animals just live this great life, like roaming around in this huge green field before they're like humanely put to sleep and then packaged up and shipped off to a grocery store for us to eat. But that is so not true. The animal industry is just really screwed up. And so these animals live terrible, terrible lives. For example, like the meat industry, they're not roaming around on green pastures. They're stuck in cages. They can barely walk. They're packed in so tight. They feed, like cows, for example, they feed them like corn and soy byproduct because that's what our agriculture industry creates the most of. And then they get really sick from eating all this byproduct, so they have to give them antibiotics to keep them alive. And then they just kind of slaughter them. They don't do it humanely. They just like slit open their throats and then package them up and ship them off to grocery stores, and the whole thing is just really unsanitary and just really not fair to the animals, and I just don't agree with that. And so a lot of people would say, like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Why not just go vegetarian? Why are you vegan? But the egg and dairy industries are just as messed up. Like chickens, for example, are packed into cages so tight they can't walk. When they're babies, they cut off the tips of their beaks so that they don't peck each other's eyes out or try to kill each other because they're packed in so tight. And they don't use any sort of numbing or medication when they do that. They just take it off. And a lot of the chickens, from walking around on wire cages all day, they develop like huge like sores and stuff on their like claws from walking around on the cages, and then those get infected and just really bad stuff happens to those poor chickens. Also, the cows, in order for the cows to produce the milk for us to drink it, they have to artificially impregnate the cows so that they'll produce the milk. But then when they have their babies, they just take the babies away and kill them or raise them to kill them. They take all the mother's milk and then they slaughter her too. So the whole thing is just really not fair to the animals, and I just don't think it's right that an animal should be tortured just so that I can eat. So I just really don't agree with the meat industry or dairy or eggs or really just any sort of animal product. I don't agree with it, so I'm not going to eat it or encourage it by purchasing it. So the second reason that I am vegan is for environmental reasons. So think about it this way. If you take some corn, you can either feed that corn to people, or you can take that corn and feed it to an animal and then feed that animal to the people. So it takes way more food for us to be feeding it to animals before feeding those animals to the people than if we just directly fed the food to the people. If we stopped eating animal products and just directly took all that food from the farms, we could feed the hungry. There is enough food on this planet to feed everyone who's hungry. We're just using it to feed animals instead. Another problem is that animal farming uses and wastes so much land. It takes up a ton of land to raise animals, and then that land gets totally ruined and you can't really use it for anything else after that. So we're wasting so much land farming animals, when if we were using that land to just farm like crops and vegetables, then it would be a lot more efficient and we wouldn't have to worry about killing all the land on the earth. Being vegan also saves a lot of water. It takes a ton of water to feed animals to feed people. It's the same thing as the food. We're wasting water by feeding it to animals that we're raising to feed to people. An average vegan consumes about 300 gallons of water a day, whereas an average meat eater consumes about 4,000 gallons of water a day. That's more than 13 times what a vegan consumes. So we're wasting a ton of water by eating meat and animal products, and our earth is running out of water. We have a limited supply of water. So I think that raising animals to eat or for animal products is wasting so much water. So the third reason that I am vegan is for health, and this is where veganism gets really, really controversial. So down in the description below, I'm going to link all of the research that I did before going vegan and where you can read more about these topics, because there is research behind it. I know it all just gets really complicated and controversial, but there is research, so I'm going to link that down below so you can go check that out. The first of the many health reasons that I'm vegan is calcium, and calcium is actually super misunderstood. Everyone thinks that you have to eat dairy products to get calcium in, but number one, you can find calcium in non-dairy places, like dark leafy greens have a lot of calcium in them, so you can get enough calcium without eating dairy products. But also, dairy products are actually not a very good source of calcium because animal products, including dairy and meat, are actually too acidic for our body to handle. So calcium is actually a very good acid neutralizer, and the highest storage of calcium in our bodies is our bones. So when a person eats animal products, their body gets really acidic, so their body leaches calcium out of their bones to neutralize that acid. So in the long run, you're actually leaching the calcium out of your bones by trying to take in like calcium through dairy products. So dairy products are actually not that good for you. They're not a very good source of calcium. So a health benefit of eating vegan is that there's actually less saturated fat in plant-based foods than in animal products. And plant-based foods are actually higher in fiber and certain like vitamins and minerals. So it's actually a lot healthier to eat those plant-based foods than the animal products. And then the topic that everyone loves to ask about when you say that you're a vegan, protein. So a lot of people think that the best and even only way to get your protein is to eat meat, but that is so not true. First of all, you don't need as much protein as most people think that you do. Once again, I will link this down below, but you basically only need 0.36 ounces of protein for every pound in your body. So for me, as a 16-year-old female, I really only need around 50 grams of protein, and that's actually a little high, but since I need to gain more muscle, I aim for about 50 grams of protein a day. And that is a lot less than most people think you actually need to get. So first of all, protein is just misunderstood. But second of all, you can also find protein in vegan sources. You know, you don't have to eat meat to get protein. Things like beans and rice is a complete protein. Just legumes in general, soybeans, quinoa. You can get protein from plant-based sources. You don't need to eat meat to get protein, and you don't need as much as you think that you do. Gram for gram, plant-based sources of protein actually have more protein than meat. Moving on to another health benefit of being vegan. Being vegan actually lowers your chances of diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, other similar diseases which are just huge problems here in the United States. Being vegan lowers your chances of developing those diseases, so it's a lot healthier. Other health benefits of being a vegan are, I've actually noticed that I have a lot more energy and also clearer skin. I know a lot of people have seen their acne go away after they started eating vegan. I also just feel like I have a lot more energy, and I just feel a lot better now that I started eating vegan. Alright, we are almost to the end of this video. So the fourth and final reason that I decided to go vegan was for personal reasons. My whole life I've kind of struggled with anxiety, and a big part of that is I've always had a really intense fear of vomit and contamination. And those two kind of come together in the form of food poisoning. So I've always had a really intense fear of food poisoning. So I've always been huge on food safety. I remember back when I was eating animal products, I would like compulsively check my food with a thermometer to make sure that it was cooked to 165 degrees. Like, all of the meat I ate had to be well done. It just freaked me out knowing that I was putting this food into my body that might get me sick. I was scared to eat because I didn't like the food I was putting in my body. I didn't feel good eating it. But then I noticed when I started eating vegan, there was nothing to be afraid of. I felt good about the food that I was putting into my body, and that's just helped with my anxiety a lot. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I enjoy eating. I don't have to be scared of food anymore. So it's just really helped a lot with my anxiety eating a vegan diet. Alright, so that is the end of my super long explanation of why I decided to go vegan. We've got ethical reasons, environmental reasons, health reasons, and personal reasons. And so, yeah, that is why I decided to go vegan, and I am just a lot happier now. I'm super glad that I decided to go vegan. If you guys have any questions or anything, you can feel free to leave those in the comments down below. Also, if you came here from Instagram, you can feel free to leave those on my Instagram, and I'd be happy to answer them. So this is the first video on this channel, but I actually think that I'm going to start posting some more videos onto YouTube, you know, like recipe videos, just stuff about veganism, maybe some vlogs, Q&As if you guys have any questions you want me to answer, anything like that. You can let me know if you have any ideas. But I am going to start posting some more videos to this channel, so make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can see those. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!